Macca's Guides.
Hey guys, Mac here. I'm bringing you the Dead Space 3 video guide for all collectibles, all 257. And yeah, that's a nightmare. There are that many collectibles in this game, unfortunately. But we're starting off in the prologue, and there's only one collectible here. As soon as you're able to take control of your character, turn left and then just follow the left wall. As soon as you begin chapter 1, you'll be taken into this area. Just you take the med pack in front of you, turn around, and press A up to this audio log. If you turn on subtitles, you'll see obviously subtitles of the audio log appear on the bottom of your screen. I do put on the subtitles a little bit later on, just so you can make sure you're hearing the exact same words as me. But as soon as you press play, it does count. Now just move on over to this bed and collect the text log. Artifact number 1, collectible number 3 of 4 on chapter 1. You're going to get to this road, and you'll use your stasis to block some of the cars. Just get out of that area and then keep turning left and you'll find your artifact there. The last artifact of chapter 1, you'll get to this room and take an elevator down. Once you reach the bottom of the elevator, here we'll just fast forward a tiny bit. You can leave the doors, and as soon as you leave the door, it's going to be directly on the right hand side. And that is it for chapter 1, 4 of 4. And now we're moving on to chapter 2. Chapter 2 has 2 artifacts. From the very beginning, we're going to run straight forward and activate that audio log. Now, you can use the locator with the RS click to kind of follow where I'm going. You're just going to proceed through the level, take a right turn at this area here, and now stick to the right-hand side wall, and you'll basically be in a straight line. You'll get, I believe it's an artifact. You'll get both of the collectibles for this mission. There are only 2. We're gonna get to some bad levels with like 30 and 40 in a few chapters from now. So right now, you're just gonna take it easy. And once you get these 2, you have like 20 minutes of gameplay to be had until we start chapter 3, which is right now. And there are 7 collectibles. Weapon part 1, you'll open this door with your TK. And this is right at the beginning of the mission, basically. There's going to be a weapon part right there on the ground. Unfortunately, I did pick it up and it didn't save really. Next, you're going to come up to this section where you see your teammate repairing a ship. I'll turn around to show you guys specifically. And there's a little guy there, and your teammate's repairing a ship, and there's going to be a Tesla core right on the ground there. As soon as we go through the doors, keep on your right-hand side, and there'll be a circuit board on the wall here. I'm trying to show you guys everything to kind of give you good reference points here. Artifact number 1 will come to this stage area where you have rows of seats, kind of like an amphitheater, I guess you would call it. You're going to defeat a few enemies and run around, and it should be glowing right there, nice and bright, nice and white. And that's your first artifact for this mission. Collectible number 5 and 6, circuit board 2 and log 1. You're going to come to this long hallway, defeat a lot of enemies, and at the end of the hallway, you'll have your circuit board as well as your text log. It is a little bit out of the way, so keep that in mind. Chapter 3, this is the last collectible. Upon flying, you'll land, and there will be a door on your left-hand side. This is actually the proper way to go, and as soon as you open that door, the log will be right on that shelf in front of you. It's the one glowing white. And that is all collectibles for chapter 3. Now we're moving on to chapter 4, which has 34 collectibles. The collectibles are very confusing for this chapter, as some of them can be attained within chapter 6, some of them are attained early, but I have put all of the chapter 4 collectibles in this chapter 4 section, and they're all put in a chronological order that makes sense. This is the beginning of the mission. You will get a text log right where you spawn. You're going to turn around and get a weapon part right behind you. Then you're going to look in this tent and use your TK to press B and bring this circuit towards you. Next, we have another 3 collectibles in the Admiral's quarters. Artifact 1 is to your right when you spawn looking out that window. Then you have a audio log right there. You can see the text of the audio log appear in the subtitles. And we have a text log on the table right there. That's 6 out of 34. Next, we have Blueprint 1 and Circuit 1. We're going to get to this long hallway, and after we cross a few doors, you'll see that there's a room right there. We're going to look to the right and go to the crew access. I think the room is labeled 2A5. It's just to the right of the where you would go right after a long hallway, and you'll have a blueprint and for the shotgun as well as a circuit. The next collectible is on the exterior of C.M.S. Ranoke, and from the fast travel area, this is where I'm showing in reference, that is the Ranoke right in front of me. You're going to fly kind of behind it, and there's a little zone here with like half a circle and a circular building front right there, if that made sense. Just keep flying all the way to where I aimed, and there's 3 doors. The most left door, you're going to shoot it open with your weapon, and there's going to be 3 containers that come out. Shoot those containers to unlock what's inside. I believe the middle one has a weapon part. This is the weapon part 2 of this mission, and that's not the weapon part. That was a health pack. But that is a weapon part, and it can be a little bit disorienting, but that is where you'll find one of the collectibles. And now the next collectibles, also on the exterior of the C.M.S. Ranoke, starting from the same point. It's you're flying that way to kind of start from the fast travel point, and it kind of floats right there. Keep in mind, you can get this in Chapter 3, and it will count towards Chapter 4, but don't confuse yourself too much. Get this during Chapter 4. Now we're on the C.M.S. Greeley. This is the optional mission. You can get this right at the beginning of the mission. Look down from where the mission would start. You see this green piece of shipwreck, and just go to this side of it and open the door using your TK as you open any door in this game practically. It does take me a few seconds here to land, but once I land, you just go inside, and there is a chest with a few collectibles. I believe there are 3. I don't want to... No. Yeah, there are 3. So once we're in this room, look in the right corner there to get an artifact. Now open up the chest, and inside the chest, we have a compact frame for a gun, which would be a weapon part, and that's it. So, Chapter 4, we're on the optional mission C.M.S. Greeley. This is inside. You'll come to this room with a ladder staircase in the middle going downwards, and the collectible is on the right there, right-hand side on that desk. Now, log 4, you'll come to a mini game where you're going to play around with this fuse box. You get this audio log automatically. You see the dialogue come up on the bottom of my screen, and that does count for this audio log, and that's all you need to do for it. Now, Circuit 3, we're still in the optional mission. We're going to be in the optional mission for a while now. This is kind of the main area. You'll be looking around quite a bit, and you'll be asked to go that way. I showed you with the locator. Just select that door on the right-hand side, and there's a washroom, and you can get a circuit board inside the washroom on the sink. Next, we're in this kind of frozen up room. You'll clear a bunch of enemies, and then just on the right hand side there's some purple safes lining the walls, and you can grab a artifact on the last area. Here, weapon part 5 and log number 5 will shut down the electricity, still in the optional mission of Chapter 4, the single one. And once we do that, you'll go to the end here, and you can pick up an electric charge, which is a weapon part, and then you're just turned to your right hand side and use your TK to start an audio log. Subtitles are there as always. Weapon part 6, circuit 4, 19 and 20 out of 34 here. We're back in this kind of main room area. We're gonna go in that room to get some tungsten. We're gonna go to the workbench to make a tungsten torque bar, and we'll install the torque bar here. We'll turn it using our TK, and once we get inside this room, we'll have 2 more collectibles. Keep in mind, you do need a tungsten torque bar, and to get it, the room I showed you right at the beginning of this set of this little part here has tungsten in it. And there's a weapon part, the telemetry spike, as well as this is the same room, as well as a circuit. So now we are moving on to the C.M.S. Brusilov. You can get this by yourself, even though it is a co-op mission. You can get 3 of them by yourself, and I'll show you those 3 right now. From the fast travel point, we're gonna jump down, straight down to this ship with a 6 on it, and just to the left of the 6, the bottom panel, you want to fly up to it, and you can tap A to get the artifact right away. I couldn't get it to trigger through the wall, so I shot it out, and once you shoot it out, it'll float up to you, and then you just pick it up right there. There it is. That's a weapon part, I believe. And now we're just going to fly around it to the back side of it, and you'll see a little pad with 2 enemies shooting these spores at you. And next to those 2 enemies is a door, and inside there you can see some, sorry for the stuttering. On screen we see the pad with the 2 shooting enemies, and next to that you can see a TK door. You'll have to open it and go inside to grab some items which are in a chest. So you see me opening the door here, click LS to land on that area. There will be an enemy that comes up behind you, but if you make it to the end of the room, inside here you'll have a circuit board, as well as, I believe that's it. And now there is a artifact right here on that desk. So you'll pick up that artifact, and there's 2 in there and 1 outside. And you can get those by yourself. The next 9 are all in the optional mission, but you have to have a co-op partner. This is the first one. You almost can't miss it. Near the beginning, you'll come to this section where you'll have 2 doors. On the right-hand side, you'll see a big white glowing object. That is the first text log of the co-op mission. There are a total of 9. Remember that. Inside the mission itself. Now, weapon part 8 and log 8. You'll come to this room where you have to go downstairs. This with a ladder. This is another one where you almost can't miss it because they're located right next to an objective, and you'll see me pick them up on the desk that is right there in front of me. You see the 2 glowing objects I'll pick up. These are right next to your objective, which is just over to my left side, and so you hopefully you don't miss those. Those are pretty easy. Now we are moving on. This section is going to show us 3. It's going to show us artifact 6, log 8, and circuit 6. This is the last artifact, I believe. You'll come up to this section and defeat a few enemies. This is like a T, and inside you'll be asked to go straight. If you turn left though and go out of the path, you can collect an artifact within this room. And now if we leave this room and go back to our kind of the way the mission wants you to go, I'll show you with the locator right here. It asks us to go that way. So just keep following the roads. You'll have to defeat a few more enemies, and once you take this turn, you're going to want to go to that door in front of you to complete the mission. But just turn left, and inside this room, which you will have to access with a co-op partner, you can collect 2 more collectibles. The collectible in this room is a text log as well as a circuit. The last 3 are all located right next to each other. You'll play this mini game right here with your co-op partner to open a door. Once that door opens, you will walk into a room and be swarmed by a few enemies, and I'll show you that basically right now. I've defeated all the enemies, and once you do defeat all the enemies, there is a chest in the back of the room, and you just have to run to it with your co-op partner and open that chest. And inside that chest, we have 3 weapon parts. Those will be number 9, 10, and 11 if you're following this exact order as I am. We have 2 more parts after this. So that is it for the co-op mission. You can now save and quit. I'm showing you here that I have every collectible just to verify that I know what I'm talking about. Circuit 7, the last circuit and the last weapon part, we're on C.M.S. Terra. You might confuse yourself. You might think this is mission 5. This is actually still chapter 4, and you can retrack this part in chapter 6 as well, but I recommend you don't. Just fly out the docking bay and head towards this ship right here. You'll want to go to the back side of it. Keep in mind there's an enemy that shoots constant spores at you, so you will want to take care of it. It's right there. I have already taken care of it, so it won't bother me. Just land right on this backside here, and this chest will not be opened. I opened it before accidentally. And inside of there, you'll find a circuit board as well as a military engine. And that is the end of part 1. I'll see you guys in part 2. Hopefully that was helpful. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe, and peace.